Yo, what's going on? What's going on, brothers and sisters? What's going on, all my brothers and all my sisters out there? What a beautiful, wonderful day it is. And I'm excited again to be amongst the living and be before you as we present this truth and the gospel. Shalom to everybody out there who's tuning in. I know most of you are used to me coming on this time and not the late night hour, and I prefer this time versus the late night hour because my kids and wife is asleep, trying to get ready for today and whatnot. So last night, definitely I appreciate everybody for who was tuning in last night, man. I really appreciate all of you for getting on. And today I'm excited again what the Lord has to speak to us, regardless last night of how low my tone was. But the Most High God moved in the understanding and the wisdom in which he flowed. It was so many things that was operating. What's going on, Bishop LK? It was so many things that was operating. And good morning, Sister TriStar and Trister. TriStar, I do apologize if I messed the name up. What's going on, Brother Charleston? Sister Gina. Who else on here? Let me see. Let me start from the top. Is it Sister Veranda, Brother Yalen, Sister Alexis? Thanks for sharing, Charleston. Sister Sparkle, what's going on? Shalom to everybody out there. Brother Perry, what's going on? I see Bishop LK on here. I know a lot of brothers and sisters be jumping on here in just a minute, so I'm excited about what the Lord is going to be teaching today. And so it's definitely going to be a blessing, man, when it comes down to what he's going to be displaying today in our lesson and our understanding and how he's going to be functioning and moving. And so I'm super excited. Once again, y'all definitely know what's going down this weekend. It is going to be a awesome weekend for the Truth Tour that is going down. We're starting in Dothan, Alabama, and then we're going to be working our way from Dothan all the way up, man, to Vegas. And we just thank the Lord for what he's doing, man. We got Texas. We got all kind of, it's just awesome, man. I'm excited for about what's going on. And again, man, it's just being able to teach his people, show his people, man, these scriptures, show his people the truth, man, not for bondage sake, but just for the sake of the Lord, man, just for his people, to equip the saints, to equip the believers so that they can be ready for what's about to come upon the earth. And we can really get an understanding what's going on. Sister Patricia, Brother Harold, Brother Tony, Brother Jonathan. I see everybody jumping on here, man. Brother Pierre, what's going on? Did I miss anybody? When you go to Vegas, announce so I can invite my in-laws. Oh, definitely. I definitely am going. I definitely will let you know. Will be in the month of August. So we'll be in Las Vegas in the month of August. And Yalon. I said Yalen, man. I'm from the South, man. My bad. What's going on, Sister Nay Holloman? You know, definitely. Brother Fenton, what's going on, Reverend Fenton? Sister Olivia, thanks for joining, man. I got, man, everybody jumping on here, excited. And blessings to everybody, man, who's jumping on here. I see all of you, and we're going to definitely go from there. If you didn't see last night's lesson, man, it was so many things, man. The Lord just really touched us, man, and really touched us and showed us, man, how to pray, how we talk to the Most High God. All right. Man, what's going on, Sister Charmaine? Shalom to you as well. Man, listen, man, last night, man, it was such a blessing just to see how we approach the Most High. Everybody, man, we need to really look at the scriptures and really see what's going on. Brother Jackson, is it Muquil? Muquil, I think that's, I may be messing up names. I'm sorry. But thanks for joining, Brother Jackson. What's going on, Sister Victoria Carter? All right. What's going on? Man, listen, man, last night, man, Daniel, just the approach. I think if we understand this, man, I really do believe if we catch this and understand how we supposed to go to the Most High in prayer, how we're supposed to go to him, how we're supposed to reverence him. You know, so many times, man, people just think that, Sister Ernestine, how you doing? So many times we just think that we're supposed to go to him in without the level of respect. Listen, understand something, brothers and sisters. You are going to the creator of the universe. What's going on, Brother Lee? You're going on to you are approaching, you're talking to the creator of all, the creator of the heavens, the creator of the earth. What's going on, Pastor Jermaine? What's going on, man? Good to see you, brother. Man, listen, I think if we catch this, like last night we watched part one. Last night we taught part one with these 4 kingdoms. And the way Daniel approached the Most High, we have to grasp this. So many times when we pray to him, we go to him corruptly, with corruption. Hey, Sister Jackie, what's going on? Definitely, Sister Jackie. I'll be in Vegas in August. All right, I'll get the date to you and get the date to everybody in just a second. I'm going to be out there for like 3 days. So look, man, we have to grasp this. Get this understanding. How do we approach the most? You have to think about it. Think about this. He is the creator of all we see and don't see. He is the most powerful, the most intellectual being that we know. Yeah, I'll see you next month, April, Brother Lee, in Richmond, Virginia. He is the most intellectual being that we know. I'm talking about his intellect is beyond anything that we can comprehend. His intellect and his being is so great. He only gives us the things to relate to him or to understand him. He only gives it to us based on our mind and what our minds can comprehend. So when we think about hell, the closest thing that he can give us to an understanding of it is fire, brimstone, but that's not the actual reality of how bad it is. That's only something that your mind can only comprehend, that your mind can put into understanding. Hey, Sister Janessa, when we think about heaven, we think about the New Jerusalem that's coming down. He gives us a understanding only our minds. This is the reason why he tells Nicodemus, he said, listen, how can I tell you heavenly things when you cannot grasp the earthly things? We fight against the earthly comprehension. That's the thing. Y'all gotta get this. Everybody's praying for a new revelation. Everybody's praying for another level in understanding when it comes to the Bible and the Spirit. And yet you fight against the things that are in the natural. The Most High God show you something in the scriptures, show you something historically, and you fight against the history of the thing. So how can he give you something that is spiritual on another level when yet you fight against the things that your natural eye see? If you fight against the natural eye things, you're definitely going to buck against the things that you see spiritually. This is why he can't take some people there. Some people can't go there because they still on milk. Thinking, now their carnal mind and their emotions tell them that they're teaching at a level when the level that they're teaching is milk. But yet you mistake the milk and think it's meat because the people that you're speaking to only can understand milk conversation. So the Lord won't give you the deep revelation of a thing because you can't grasp and understand it and you fight against it. Do you know how many people fight against the things in the scripture? Now, John, listen, eat the book. The Most High God is telling all of us to eat the book. This is why Christ said, I came in the volume of the book. If you can't show me Christ or you can't show people Christ in the Old Testament, how in the world can you teach somebody about Revelation? How can you teach them about the book of Revelation or Bible prophecy and you can't show somebody who Christ was in the Old Testament? Come on, I'm telling y'all, man, we have to grasp this to be able to understand what he's trying to do. He's trying to get you, Nicodemus, he's trying to get you to think on another level. And he's trying to get you to accept the things that you can see. If you can accept the things that you can see and don't fight against that, then you will be able to accept the things that he showed you spiritually. That is so on another level, to the point to where he understands, okay, if I can trust you. Look, check this out. What did he tell Jeremiah? I'm going to walk y'all down this thing. Before he sent Jeremiah off on his assignment spiritually, he said, Jeremiah, what you see? I need to make sure you seeing and accepting and receiving what you can see in your carnal eye. Jeremiah, what you see? Let's go to it. Thank you, Most High. Thank you, Most High. I want to show y'all something just for a second before we go to part 2 of these nations. Because if you don't accept it, then you're not going to be able to understand these nations and what's going on. If you bucking and fighting against the carnal thing that he's trying to show you. Look, in Jeremiah, watch what he says. Jeremiah chapter number 1. All right. Jeremiah chapter number 1. Now, look at this. In verse number 4, he says, then the word of the Lord came unto me. Stop right there. I'm going to show y'all what's very significant. Okay. When you go read the Torah, you find it where it says, and Moses said, and Moses went, and Moses this, and Moses that. That's showing you that somebody else is writing, being a scribe. That's not Moses himself writing. I want y'all to catch this. I want y'all to show. I want to give y'all something so y'all can understand the Bible. Okay. In Deuteronomy, when you find areas throughout the Bible, when it's, and Moses did this, and Moses did that, that's not Moses writing. That's a scribe. Somebody is being a scribe there at the scene watching. Now it's an anonymous writer, but it's somebody watching and writing down these things. Look what Jeremiah says. Jeremiah, verse number 4. And then the word of the Lord came unto me. This is Jeremiah talking. So now you know that these words, that these writings are from Jeremiah himself, not from somebody who's writing and watching the scene, taking notes of what's going on. There's no scribe there. This is Jeremiah himself. Okay. Though Jeremiah did have a scribe by the name of Baruch, okay, which one of the apocryphal books are, but this is Jeremiah. When we get to Daniel gonna say I. That's letting you know that this is Daniel's account. He is writing. Okay. Nobody's writing for him. Let's keep reading. Then the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, before I formed you in the belly, I knew thee. And before thou camest forth out of the womb, I sanctified thee. Before your mother and your father got together, I knew who you was. I already gave you your assignment. I gave you the gifts. I gave you everything. No matter how your parents got together, if it wasn't for the Lord sending your spirit into your mother's womb through the seed of your father, no matter how many times your parents had intercourse, if the Lord didn't send the spirit, you would not exist. He said, Jeremiah, I was the one who shaped and molded you and called you to be what you are before you even knew what you was. We had a relationship because I sculpted and created your spirit to fit the particular body that you would have to have in this earth. Even the body itself that you have, it was hand sculpted by the Most High to fit the spirit that you possess. Even your body, even the flesh suit is designed perfectly for the spirit that it has to house. People have to get, you got to understand this. He said, Jeremiah, I knew you before you was formed in your mother's womb. He says, and I ordained thee. I created you to be a prophet. See, the problem is if everybody walk in what they were created to be and stop trying to walk in what other people's office and other people's gifts, what they were created to be, then we all would be able to function together as the body. But the problem is you got people wanting to function as something they're not and trying to stop other people from functioning what they were called to be. You can't do that. You cannot, if the Most High God did not call you to deal with certain areas, don't try to stop other people from doing that. He didn't design you. He didn't create your body or your intellect to be able to deal with certain subjects. Now, does that mean that that the person who he called is any greater than you? Absolutely not. That doesn't mean that. That doesn't mean because I was created as an evangelist and a teacher. That doesn't mean that if you were created as a prophet, that doesn't mean that I'm any greater than you. Or that doesn't mean that you're any greater than me because you may have the gift of the word of knowledge and be able to call addresses and names and all this stuff. Does that make you any greater than the evangelist or the teacher? Absolutely not. Because there's going to be areas that I can teach that you can't. But as a body, we're supposed to work together and function together. That's what Paul was teaching in Galatians 3:28. He said, look, all who have been baptized in Christ, the gift that has been given to you, there is neither Jew nor Greek when it comes to the Most High giving you the gifts. Paul ain't dealing with no nationality. Paul is saying that we're all baptized. All of us who are baptized have been baptized into one body. This ain't got nothing to do with nationality. The Lord has called you to be a part of a body, whether you Jew or Gentile. All right. So therefore, if you're called to be a part of this body, then therefore, all of who have been baptized, we are supposed to function as one in the body. That still don't mean that you're not white. That still don't mean that I'm not black. That just means we function as a body when it comes to the spiritual things of God. But that doesn't mean that I'm just supposed to say, hey, you know what? I'm all kind of nations. That ain't got nothing to do with that. All right. Now he's telling Jeremiah here. He said, look, he says, then said I, O our Lord God, behold, I cannot speak, for I am a child. He said, then I said to the Lord. Jeremiah said, the Lord said to me. Then I said to the Lord. See, now Jeremiah's starting to make excuses. Jeremiah is about to start making excuses. Okay? That his fleshly man is trying to stop him from doing what he's called to do and be who he's called to be. Now watch this. He says, I cannot speak, for I am a child. I can't speak what you're telling me to speak. I can't walk and be what you're telling me to be is because I don't have the wisdom. I don't have the wisdom to be a prophet. I don't have the intellect. I'm a child in my understanding. See, y'all think Jeremiah talking about he a baby, he a child at age. He's not talking about a child at age. He said, I'm a child in the understanding. I hear you telling me I'm called to be a prophet, but my understanding, I'm not sitting with the priest. I'm not in the priest circles. I'm not in the circles of people with all the seminary degrees and all the education. I'm a child in my understanding. Why are you calling me? Why are you calling me? I'm a child when it comes down to this. Now watch this. But the Lord said unto me, say not I am a child. The most I say, don't say that you don't have the understanding, because it's not you who's going to be functioning. I need you as a vessel because he's a spiritual being. He's a spiritual being, right? The Most High is a spiritual being who created you as a spiritual being, but yet you're limited in your understanding spiritually. You haven't grown yet to the level of understanding in the spiritual understanding of growth. So the Lord says, he says, don't say that you're a child. Don't speak the things that you're not. Okay? Because if you're relying on yourself, then of course you won't be able to deal with the people that I'm sending you to. But because I'm going to speak through you, you don't have to worry about the intellect. Okay? Don't worry. Yes, that doesn't mean you don't study. That's not what that's talking about. But he said, don't rely so much on your studies to where you don't have the Spirit. See, that's another problem. You got a whole bunch of people are so heavy and deep in study, but yet they don't have no Spirit. They can tell you every law in the Bible. They can tell you everything that they supposedly know about Paul, but ain't got no Spirit. Lacking the very thing that reaches people. All right, let's keep rolling here. Now watch this. But the Lord said unto me, say now I'm not a child, for thou shalt go to all that I shall send thee. See, that's another problem. Another problem is people are trying to go to people they are not assigned to. You can't do that, man. If the Lord have not assigned you to deal with certain people, why are you trying to deal with them? That's what I'm telling you. We got people, I don't know where the Most High go. The Most High is going with this thing. Look, we were supposed to be dealing with Daniel chapter 8, dealing with these four kingdoms, right? The Most High in the middle of this told me to go to Jeremiah. Okay? Told me to go to Jeremiah. So I'm going to shift as he shifts. All right? I'm not going to force these 4 kingdoms. We did it we talked about something last night, but I'm going to stay right here. I'm going to do just what the Spirit say. I'm going to stay right here, okay, until the Most High tell me to shift. I'm going to stay right here, okay? We're going to deal with Jeremiah, all right? Because some people need to get this understood, all right? You got too many people trying to function in other areas and trying to stop other people from functioning in other areas they called to. Okay, how in the world you gonna tell me that I shouldn't be talking about something, or tell me that I shouldn't be going to certain individuals, and you weren't going? No, matter of fact, you don't go to them. You don't talk about it. You let me do what I'm assigned to do. This is what Jeremiah, he said, Jeremiah, but the Lord said unto me, say not I am a child, for thou shalt go to all that I shall send thee. I'm going to go, Jeremiah, everybody that I send your way and everybody that I send you to, that's where you go and that's who you talk to. If I don't tell you to go to corporate America, you don't go up in no corporate buildings trying to tell nobody nothing. If I ain't told you, that's another thing. People are not obedient to the voice of the Lord. They're not functioning based off his voice. If I didn't tell you to go, don't be going to to them dope boys. Don't be going out there in the trap. If I didn't tell you to go in the trap, all right, don't go in the trap, because your behind run up in the trap trying to be all big and bad, and you get your behind left wounded and naked, get your behind beat down by them spirits in the trap. He ain't assigned you to go to the trap yet. That may be a later on thing. All right. But right now, wherever I send you, wherever I send people your way, then that's who you deal with and that's who you speak to. If I didn't call you to deal with nationality and identity and biblical nationality, don't be running out here trying to teach people stuff about doggone Israel and all this other stuff, and you don't know nothing about it. You just got some little surface level understanding, but yet you trying to run out here because it look good and it's popular and everybody waking up. You want to be a part. The Lord say, I didn't tell you to do that. I didn't assign you to go speak that. You better sit your behind down until it's time. Get your behind some preparation first before you start getting out there dealing with all kind of stuff and stuff you saying. All right, it sound good, but as soon as somebody hits you with a question you can't answer, now you make yourself look bad. And you're going to put a bad name on the Most High. And he ain't finna put no bad name on himself. All right. Let's keep reading. Watch this right here. Look at this. All right. He says, verse number 7, I shall send thee, and whatsoever I command thee, thou shalt speak. Whatever I command you, you speak it. Whatever I tell you to do. If I don't listen, man, let me tell y'all something. It done been times where the Most High, I'm telling you, he's gonna do a lot of y'all the same way. It's gonna be times where you in the grocery store, at the family cookout, wherever you at. See, you got all these renegades running around here. Everybody wants to be so deep. Everybody wants somebody to know that the Lord talking to them and all this kind of stuff. You telling me that the Lord talking to you, but yet you living contrary to what he's saying, I'm not listening to you, okay? At the end of the day, if you living contrary to what the Most High God is saying in these scriptures, but yet you telling me what the Lord trying to tell you to tell me for my life, I'm not listening to you at all, period, okay? Listen, the Most High God said, Jeremiah, whatever I command thee, you speak. It done been times where you at the cookout, at the barbershop, wherever you at. And the Most High God will tell you something. He will tell you something about somebody. And the Most High say, don't say it. I want to let you know this and you watch it. See, when you get early off and you got the prophetic gift and all this kind of stuff, when you walking in that office and what the Lord will tell you, early off, the Lord will tell you not to say stuff. He just wants you to sharpen your skills and watch it. And when it come to pass, he's trying to teach you the difference between your own voice and his voice, because your voice would deceive you into thinking it's God's voice. So the Lord say, don't say nothing. Just watch. But you got all these renegades. They want to run out here and tell people business and all this other stuff. Okay? The Most High say, don't say nothing. I don't want you to say, because right now I'm teaching you. I want to teach you, okay, how to function as the prophet. Okay? I want to teach you. There's sometimes where the Lord may say something. You may not be the prophet in office, but the Lord speak to all of us. The Lord speak to all of us no matter what office you function in. But there are some who are actually prophets that the Lord speak to and through. But the Lord will tell you, when he tell you don't speak nothing, you just watch it, just watch it. He's trying to train you, okay, early off. But you got all these people running around here, start talking all this stuff, just want to tell everybody business. They want people to know who they are and all this kind of stuff. You walking on the edge of getting a dry mouth. Okay, you're walking on the edge of getting your behind in a spiritual asylum where the Lord will lock your behind up, put a straitjacket on you, and keep your mouth locked with nuts and bolts on it. And when you want to say something, it won't come out. Okay, or you say something and people don't receive it, and it could be truth, but he will lock your behind up if you go off telling people stuff that he told you not to say. All right, let's keep reading here. All right, let's get this. So he told Jeremiah, he said, look, man, he said, look. Okay, I'm going to tell you straight up. You speak what I tell you to speak. And whatever I tell you don't speak, you don't run your mouth. I don't care how much you want to tell. All right? Y'all better catch the character of the God. Y'all have to catch the character of the Most High. All right? That's why I keep telling you, these folks running around here saying all kind of stuff. I'm a man of the Lord. I'm a prophet of the Most High. And he said, he gonna kill you. Man, the Most High ain't told these people to say that. A lot of times, people who be running off saying that the Most High just don't run around. Let me tell y'all something. The Most High just don't run around saying he gonna kill people all the time. Okay? He just kill them. That's all he do. He don't run around. It's certain instances where the Most High say, you better straighten up or you gonna die. All right? It's just certain instances. He don't just run around here declaring that all the time. Telling you gonna die and all this. When he want to kill somebody, he just kill them. All right? That's it. That's it. When he want to kill somebody, but there's sometimes in the scriptures where he will tell somebody, he'll say, you know what? Get your act together. Just get your act together or you going down the road of destruction. But you got a bunch of people out here, these cats be running around saying all this craziness, man. Saying all this craziness. And when I look in the scriptures, that ain't the character of the Most High. But these guys, folks running around, I think they got all the wisdom and know all the truth and all that. You got people sitting right up in the doggone church and everywhere else. You know doggone well that dude sleeping with all these women in the church. And the Most High done told you to warn him. And you don't say nothing. This thing that tripped me out. This is the thing that trips me out. When the Most High tell you to say something, you don't say it. When he tell you don't say something, you say it. So the person who needed told to them, you don't open your mouth. You know this dude sleep with all these women in the church. And he done told you, tell him better get his act together or I'm going to deal with him. And you don't open your mouth and say nothing. But when he tell you don't say nothing, you want to tell everybody. I don't get this, man. I don't get people. I don't understand how people function in this capacity. Okay, let's keep reading here. Verse number 8. He says, be not afraid of their faces. He said, look, Jeremiah, when I send you to these people, I'm sending you to some stiff-necked, hard-headed folks. Oh, man, boy, listen, man, I don't care what nobody say. People can say whatever they want to say and fight all they want. All right? The people in this book, these people hard-headed. They stiff-necked, they don't care about nothing, and they follow everybody gods. Okay? The people in this book, listen, it don't take that hard to go through the scriptures that the Lord revealed you. That is y'all Negroes. That's it. It's simple, okay? It's simple as that, all right? There's nobody more hard-headed and more stiff-necked than black folk here in America. Y'all just some stiff-necked people, okay? Stiff-necked. Y'all don't care about nothing else, but only thing y'all care about is what every other nation tell y'all. That's all y'all care about. Y'all don't care about what the Lord say. Y'all don't care about what his book say. You don't care about what the Lord tell you. You don't care about what the Lord tell you to do. You don't care about who the Lord tell you are. But you want to be stiff-necked. All you do is care about what everybody else. What Buddha say? What Buddha say? What did Hindu say? What did Allah say? What did the Roman Catholic Church say? All y'all care about. I'm going to follow that. That sound good. That sound good right there. That sound good. Oh, man. That sound. Oh, man. The pre-tribulation rapture. Oh, we're going to be raptured up out of here. Don't even care what the Bible say. It just sound good. Oh, I got to follow that. That's God. Oh, man. I mean, you did all kind of stuff. All kind of stuff. Oh, what did the gods of Egypt say? Oh, the black woman is God? Oh, that is all. Oh my God. I've never heard such knowledge. The black woman is God? Oh my goodness. Oh, where's that God at? I love that God. And go look in the scriptures. From the old to the new. They just love following the other nations' gods. They just love it. That's why they always got put in slavery. They always got put in slavery because all they want to do is keep following everybody else God and what everybody else God tell them to do. That's all they want to do. They don't care about what they God say. They don't care about what they creator say. We like the other gods. Why can't we be like the other God? Why can't we have gods like the other gods? Why we can't have they God? They God don't have all these rules. They God's not this strict. They God let us have all kind of gods. They God let us eat what we want. They God let us live how we want. They gods have all these things. Where would we want? They God let us have all this and all. I'm telling y'all, man, this stuff is over and over. And the Lord just get tired. That's why this is why the Most High said 2/3 of y'all of these folks gonna get put to death. 2/3 of y'all getting put to death because you're hard-headed. You're stiff-necked. You're not going to change. You are not going to. I see people all the time. Show it right to them in the script. I had a pastor yesterday. In the group. Started throwing out Galatians 5. Now, he asked me to explain Galatians 5 to him. Okay? I explained it to him. Then I showed him that Paul said what he said, but Paul didn't mean what he meant. I opened up Galatians chapter 5. He started talking about circumcision. Oh, see, in Galatians chapter 5, Paul said the circumcision of the heart, like that's something new. Brother, that's in the Old Testament. Okay, I can go right to Deuteronomy in the law where the Most High said that your heart need to be circumcised. Okay, but he also told your behind to get circumcised on their foreskin too. Then I showed him in the New Testament where in Galatians chapter 5 that Paul wasn't talking against the commandments of God. Oh, yes, he was. Yeah, Paul, you're under bondage. Then I took him right to Acts and showed him where Paul took Timothy and got circumcised according to the law. Okay, now come on, wait a minute. Now what is it? Is Paul double-minded? Is Paul saying you ain't got to get circumcised? Then he turned around and take Timothy to get circumcised? Come on, what is that? That don't make no sense. This is why people don't want to deal with Paul, because y'all make Paul to seem double-minded. Okay, like he's out of his mind. And he's not, okay? That's what he said, but that's not what he meant. Let me show you what he meant, okay, by that. And let me show you who was going around, okay, trying to tell the children of Israel or the people of the way and those who converted as Gentiles and Israelites was trying to go around and tell them that they need to start sacrificing animals. And Paul is telling them that you don't have to do that, okay? Now, and you got to be circumcised according to Abraham. That's what the circumcision was telling them. But yet Paul say, listen, you got to be circumcised in the heart, okay? Not just the foreskin. The foreskin is not what's going. If your heart not circumcised, then you're not going to receive. But then yet Paul turned around and get Timothy circumcised according to the law. Come on, man. You have to understand this. You know what happened? The pastor turned around and he deleted all of my comments because it made him look bad. Okay? The Lord made him look bad. He deleted all my comments, kept his comments, and blocked me out the group. Okay? That's what happens. And this is a pastor, okay? This is a pastor of a church. Okay, he teaching people that, but deleted all my comments, all the precepts and the scriptures that I showed him, okay? Put him in a corner. He couldn't fight out the corner because I had him pinned down. And then he deleted all the comments and blocked me out the group. But the problem is, I don't care. I don't care about being blocked out of the group. I don't care about my comments being deleted because people were inboxing me and saying, man, I never heard this type of information. I've been following this guy. He's been challenging everybody. Now, he challenged every pastor and every minister in the group. All of a sudden, I come into the group and I respond to his doggone comments and showed him with the scripture in character, not out of character, put him in the corner. He get mad. Then he start working like a devil. Delete all my comments so nobody else can see it. And then turn around, all right? And then turn around and gonna block me out the group, okay? You got to understand how this stuff go on, man. You have to understand how people do this. But the people, they were seeing it. They weren't responding. They wasn't commenting. They was watching the dialogue go back and forth. Once he blocked me and deleted all my comments, then they started inboxing me. All the people that be following him. Hey, man, I never heard this before. I never said, man, I didn't know about this. Paul was doing this. Oh, that makes sense. But see, that's what I'm saying. The Lord will have you on assignment just for 5 people, just for 10 people. You have to understand wherever you walk, you're on assignment. If you're on Facebook, if you're on Twitter, if you're on Instagram, no matter where you're at, you're on assignment. And that assignment may be just to reach 5 people. It may be just to reach 1 person because you're on assignment and you speak what the Lord tell you to speak and you don't speak what he tell you don't speak. All right. As long as you functioning in the spirit and stay on assignment, people going to be liberated regardless of who receive and regardless of who don't. Paul was teaching in Acts chapter 28 and 23. He was teaching out of the law concerning Christ, and he was teaching out the prophets. And the scriptures say some received and some didn't. So our job is not to worry about who receives or not. Our job is to walk in our assignment and function in character. Now, Jeremiah, what do you see? Watch this. Let's keep rolling here. Verse number 8. Be not afraid of their faces. Jeremiah, the people that I'm sending you to, they're going to be making all kind of faces. They're going to be frowning at you. They're going to be mad because you're telling them the truth. Everywhere you go, all right? Everywhere you go, people are going to be mad because you're telling the truth. When you come out of these scriptures, it's going to make people mad, okay? They're going to make all kind of faces. They're going to be frowning at you. They're going to be looking at all kind of making killer faces at you, mean mugging. Don't worry about their face. Cut their behind up. Don't worry about their face. Just cut their behind up with the scriptures and let the Lord work through you. All right? Let's keep reading here. Verse number 9. Then the Lord put forth his hands. Look at this. Now, after the Lord told him, he said, Jeremiah, I'm going to talk to you. I'm going to talk through you. Don't worry about their faces. I'm going to take the fear from you. Now, I've told you what you were assigned to be. Now, let me put in your mouth what I want you to say. See, a lot of time when the Lord assigned and called you and tell you who you are and tell you your assignment, a lot of times you aren't equipped with the information and the spiritual knowledge to speak it. He just wants to declare to you and show you what you're assigned to be and who you are called to. Okay, the Lord has to stretch forth his hands and touch your mouth so that you can say those things. The things that you're going to be saying out of your mouth is going to line up with your office and your gift, because your gift is complementary to your office. So the things that has to come out of your mouth is going to be lined up with what your office is and who he's called you to be. So the evangelist and the teacher and the apostles and the prophets, they're going to have certain language that they're going to speak because their voice is assigned to certain people's ears. This is why Paul was teaching in such a way, the way he taught, different from Peter. Now, the same Spirit has given both of them the gift based on what he decides to give them. The gifts is based on what the Lord has decided to give. So, Peter, you're called to the Jews. So I need you to speak to them in the language that they understand. Paul, you're called to the Gentiles. All right. I need you to reach the Gentiles. So the language in which you speak has to be lined up with them. Christ already functioned in that way. When he came to the Pharisees, his language was one way. When it came to the common people, his language was another way. He didn't talk to the common man about the law and all this kind of stuff. But when it came down to dealing with the Pharisees, he talked to them about the law because his language he understands. The people that he's in front of, he know who he's assigned to. But even though that he's assigned, okay, and he's speaking to different people based on their different levels, the thing is, he understood that he couldn't be limited. It's the same with us. Though you're called to the Gentiles, don't limit yourself in your understanding, in your prayer, and in your study. Don't limit yourself just based on the people you're assigned to, because on your way to reach those people that you're assigned to, you may you may come in contact with someone who's from the other side that you're not assigned to. Just on your way to reaching the Gentiles, you may encounter some Jews. So therefore, you can't be limited in the capacity. So therefore, have some form of understanding of how the Jews talk or how Israelites talk. That way, when you're on your way to the Gentiles who you assigned to, you can still reach those people. Though the Israelites may not be your primary area of assignment, they still are required for you to reach them, or they're still required for you to be able to speak them on a level that they can understand. All right. We got to get this. Let's keep reading it. Verse number 9. Then the Lord put forth his hands and touched my mouth. Then the Lord put forth his hands and touched my mouth. Check this out. And the Lord said unto me, behold, I have put my words in thy mouth. Look, Jeremiah didn't have the words in his mouth first. The Most High God was calling him to let him know who he's assigned to. You're going to be assigned to people with ugly faces. People going to be making all kind of faces. You're going to be assigned to stiff-necked, hard-headed people that don't want to change. That's who you're assigned to. Before he put the words in his mouth, he built this confidence up and he took the fear from him. Oh my, y'all got to catch this. It's too many people. See, a lot of folks out here, they function in their fear. So therefore they don't have the boldness to speak it. Then you have those who don't have the fear, who got the confidence, but they speaking on words of their own and not words of the Lord. So if you speaking on words that the Lord ain't put in your mouth, people not going to even hear you. You're not going to reach people. You're not going to be effective. All right. And if you scared of people, you can't be effective either. So he took Jeremiah and told him, you are a prophet. I knew you before you were formed in your mother's womb. He built this confidence up. Then when Jeremiah started talking that scary stuff, he stripped the fear from him, gave him confidence. It's the same thing he did with Joshua. Joshua, as I was with Moses. You remember, Joshua, all the things that Moses did. He's building his confidence. So shall I be with you. He took the fear from him to show him, Joshua, I'm giving you the confidence because you saw the things that I did with Moses and how I used him. So you're not afraid because you got to fight. Jeremiah, I'm sending you to people who going to be making mean faces. Joshua, you got to go fight people who got mean faces. So both of y'all, I got to take, because I ordained both of y'all in the office that y'all in. Joshua, you are a militant leader, a military leader. You can't be passive when you're going into these lands. All right. You can't be passive going into these lands. So he got to strip the fear from him, build confidence in him, and then bring him back to the remembrance of how mighty he used Moses, who was a different type of leader. The leader that Moses was a passionate leader. He was pastoral. He had to nurture the people because they've been through total hell and have been beaten down. They have been beaten down so much, they need someone to nurture them. They need someone to bring them comfort. Now that they're out of that land, now you got to go fight. You can't have a passive leader in this generation. The Joshua generation, you can't have no passive leaders. If you passive, you're afraid to say what you're going to say and all this kind of stuff, you ain't going to be effective in this generation. The generation that we in is the fearless. They're not scared to die. They're not scared to break in your house. They're not scared. They cuss old people out. They beat up old people. They treat them like doggone trash. They don't have no respect for their own life and no respect for nobody else. You got to have Joshuas in this generation. You got to have Jeremiahs in this generation. Those who don't have no fear. Those who have the confidence of the Lord and are not going to speak what the Lord ain't telling them not to speak. All right, that's the thing. Let's keep rolling here. So the Lord gave him three things that he didn't have. He gave him the confidence. He gave him fearlessness. And then he put the word in his mouth. Woo. Listen, man. Let me tell y'all something, man. Y'all got to catch that. You got to understand this. When you got the confidence to declare what the Lord said, when you are fearless to declare what the Lord said, and then you got the word of the Lord in your mouth, folks can't deal with you. They can't run up on you. Folks can't run up on you, challenging you on anything. They're going to be very cautious how they run up on you. They fear that is what's in you. People fear what's in you. When they know it's of the Lord, they're not going to run up on you like that. I don't care who they is. They're not running up on you. Now, they'll run up on Joe Blow because they know Joe Blow ain't got the spirit. They can tell how Joe Blow talk and how Joe Blow act and know that Joe Blow don't have the spirit. They'll run up on them quick. They're going to run up on Joe Blow quick because they know Joe Blow ain't working with nothing. But when you got the spirit of the Lord, confidence, and you fearless, they ain't running up on you. They're not running up on you. It's not that they fear you in the carnal sense, but they know when it comes to these scriptures, when it comes to the Lord, when it comes to having a prayer life, when it comes to having this understanding, they ain't running up on you like that. They're not going to do it. They're going to be hesitant because they don't know what might happen. They don't know what might happen. You keep running up on people if you want to. You keep running up on people all you want. I'm telling you, the Most High, he'll put something on your behind. I'm telling you. Let's keep reading here, y'all. Verse number 10. See, I have this day set thee over the nations and over the kingdoms. Oh, man. Listen. Do y'all understand the capacity in how the Lord finna use Jeremiah? Y'all don't understand the capacity, man. You don't understand the capacity. When the Lord have called you to the nations, man, listen, it's going to take some serious, it takes being fearless. It takes having the confidence, and it takes having the spirit. He's calling Jeremiah to speak to the nations. Come on, man. Let me show y'all this. Look, check this out. That's a S on the end. That is a plural understanding. He's calling Jeremiah to Israel and every other nation on the planet. You got to speak to these folks. Y'all got to speak to these people and tell them what thus saith the Lord. In character, in the spirit. You got to, he said, listen, I call you, Jeremiah, to set thee over the nations, not only the nations, but over the kingdoms. You got to go to the kings. Remember last night when we did the lesson and we did it about Nebuchadnezzar. Nebuchadnezzar told these folks, look, if you don't tell me my dream, I'm going to kill you. That back then, the kings didn't play. When the kings said you were going to die, you was going to die. Real talk. They knew not to play with the king. All right. They knew it. They knew. That's why they made sure. Look, man, if the king called a jester in and the jester didn't make him laugh, man, he'll feed the jester to the lions, man. He'll feed. I'm telling you, them kings back in the day wasn't no joke. Okay. He will turn around. The king will turn around. If you weren't doing what he'll throw you in that alligator pit, all kind of stuff, man. He wasn't playing, man. The kings was not playing. Jeremiah, I'm sending you to stiff-necked, hard-headed people. I'm sending you to all these folks that don't want to listen to the Lord. All these folks don't want to change their ways. All right. Then, not only that, I'm sending you to the kings. I'm sending you to the kings. You got to go tell the kings what I say. Man, look, I'm telling you, I don't think y'all understand the capacity of this thing. It's one thing to tell the people. It's another thing when the Lord tell you to go and tell the king to let my people go. Or go and tell the king, you better get your act right. Man, I'm telling y'all, man. I'm telling y'all. Man, you knew if you ran up on the king, you said the wrong thing, you were going to die. I'm telling you, at the point, it's a point in the scripture where Jeremiah said, I'm not saying nothing. Everybody you send me to, ain't nobody hearing me. Ain't nobody changing. Now, it's one thing when you teaching and everybody amen and they clapping you and oh yeah, awesome, that's right, man, you teaching that thing. Your confidence level is up. When you got the crowd chanting you on. Can you have the same confidence and teach and speak the same thing with thus saith the Lord when ain't nobody giving you no likes? When nobody is coming to hear you speak. When nobody is paying you any attention when you're standing on the corner. It's good when the crowd is clapping. You got the confidence. Everybody rolling with you. But when folks not listening to you or hearing you, can you still have that same confidence? Can you still go out every day and teach and speak when a generation of people who are stiff-necked don't want to hear? When the kings or nobody want to hear you? When you on here teaching and talking about keeping God's commandments and the whole world is saying, no, I'm not, no, you trying to bring me back under bondage, under the law. Can you keep teaching? Or are you going to get mad? At one point, Jeremiah said, I'm not declaring, I'm not saying nothing that you tell me to say. I'm not, look, he got mad with God. I'm not telling you, I'm not saying nothing. I'm sick of it. I mean, every time I go to people and tell them what you say, they will always beat me up. They spit on me. They want to kill me. They want to do all kind of stuff. I'm not saying nothing. But Jeremiah forgot one thing. Jeremiah forgot that in chapter 1, the Lord stretched forth his hands and put his words in his mouth. Regardless of what you don't want to say, regardless of where you don't want to go, when the Lord put his words in your mouth, you don't control your own mouth. You don't control nothing. And Jeremiah forgot that the word that he put in him, he said it was like fire shut up in his bones. No matter how he tried to suppress it and keep his mouth closed and not say anything, he should have tried to run or do whatever he had to do, sew his mouth up, whatever he had to do. Once the Lord put his hands on his mouth and put the word in him, Jeremiah was going to say whatever. Jeremiah was going to talk no matter how the Lord, no matter how much he tried to close his mouth. There was going to be words from the Most High that was going to come out of it. Because at that point, you're not in control anymore. The one who created you, that's why he told him. He said, Jeremiah, I knew you before you were formed in your mother's womb. I called you to be a prophet. I this, I that. You have no control. And no matter how much you try to sit up there and tell me you're not going to open your mouth and speak, I'm going to show you who's in control. Jeremiah said it was like fire. I had to tell somebody. I had to tell somebody. I couldn't keep it to myself. Because the more I kept my mouth closed, the more it burned in me. Let me explain something to y'all. Let me give y'all an analogy of something that your mind could comprehend to understand. Somebody ever told you something so good and they told you not to tell nobody? And then it burnt in you so bad you want to tell somebody. You had to tell somebody. Come on, man. This news right here, this news is so important. This news is so real that you're the only one that they've told this to. And it was so informative that you had to tell somebody. Now magnify that times 1,000,000 or 1,000,000,000. Regardless of how Jeremiah didn't want to open his mouth. When the Lord touched his mouth and put them words in him, it was magnified. He had to tell somebody. He tried to keep his mouth closed, but he still couldn't do it because the news or the words that was in him was so powerful to where he had to tell somebody. Somebody got to know. I don't care who it is. His word was like fire building up, consumed. It consumed his whole being. He had to tell somebody. Let's keep reading here. All right. Verse number 10. See, I have this day set thee over the nations and over the kingdoms to root out and to pull down and to destroy and to throw down, to build and to plant. Look at Jeremiah. The word that's in your mouth, it's going to cut people. The word that's in your mouth, I'm going to use you to tear down all of these systems. See, the Jeremiah and the Joshua generation are going to be used to tear down these systems that's set up. It's systems in the political system. It's systems in the church. It's systems in the camps. It's systems everywhere. And the Lord is called pulling aside the Joshuas and the Jeremiahs and say, I'm going to use you to tear down these systems. These systems have been so saturated, so in place, and so built till it's going to take somebody that got to sculpt and create. Jeremiah, I knew you before in your mother's womb. I ordained you and called you to be a prophet. I personally sculpted, designed you, gave you the office and the gift just for the particular purpose of tearing down systems. Come on, I'm telling you, y'all better get this. Look, the Lord will raise up and create people just simply to go after systems. He will do it every time because the people that's within the system don't want to change. So he got to call and use somebody outside of the system. He got to develop somebody that's outside of the system. So that way they won't be corrupted by the system and they're going to go straight against the system. John the Baptist, I have ordained and called you to lay the foundation before the Son of God comes. I called you to tear down systems. And when you go into the world, you preach repentance, change from your wicked ways. You need to get the people prepared for the coming of the Lord. Jeremiah, I created you to tear down systems. Joshua, I created you and appointed you to take the land, tear down systems. Come on, man. Y'all better catch this. Look at this. He says, I have this day set you over the nations and over the kingdoms to root out. You know what you do when you root out? You go out there in the yard and you dig, but you just don't dig when you're pulling up a root. It's a certain kind of way you dig to make sure that the spine, that the legs of the root don't have nowhere else to latch itself onto. When you go out there in the yard, you have a certain kind of shovel and you dig and you cut a certain kind of way in the ground in a circle-like shape to make sure when you pull that root up out the ground, you pull it up right. Or you grab the root a certain kind of way and you turn it and you twist it and you pull. You don't just pull fast, but you pull in a certain kind of way to make sure that root comes up out of the ground with the doggone weeds. Come on, man. Let me show y'all something here. He says, I called you to root out and to pull down. Meaning, look, it's going to be some people in high places. It's going to be some systems that's in high places. I need you to tear them and pull them down. Pull them high, all them low systems. I need you to pluck up the low system. All the high systems, I need you to snatch they behind down. I'm going to put a word in your mouth that the people on the low system, you're going to destroy and pull them out and throw it away. And the people in the high system, I need you to get up there high and pull they behind down. Because the low people system, they low, they easy to get to. But the people that's on the high that you got to pull down, they already up there mentally. They think they somebody. They all dignified and holier than thou. They think because they got 50,000 people following them, or they think because everybody buying their books that they untouchable, that they can say and do whatever they want and think people not going to say nothing about it. No, I've assigned somebody that's outside the system to go in the system to pull pull your behind down. Let's keep reading here. He says to root out and to pull down and to destroy. Now, some of these people that you're going to be pulling up out the ground, some of them can be saved. Some of them can be changed. Some of them can allow, if you take the root out the right way, that it's some grass that can grow in that spot. Some of these people that's up on high that you're going to have to pull down, you'll deflate their mind and deflate their spirit, but yet they still able to be blown back up the right way. All right. But it's some people that's in these systems on the ground and up top. Some of them I'm going to kill and destroy. They're not going to change. They're not changing their mind. They're not changing their way of living. And I'm going to burn their behinds up. I called you to speak to the ones who will change and the ones who will not change. Either way it goes, you're not going to be responsible for judging them, but I will. But I'm going to use your mouth to be a witness against them. Come on, y'all. Y'all got to get this. Look at it. He says, and he said, root up. He said, root out and pull down and destroy and throw down. Some of these people you're going to have to take, they're going to be so bad, you're going to have to pull them down and just look at them and just slam them on the ground and destroy. Destroy these doggone false gods, all these other false gods running around here. Grab them doggone gods by their doggone neck. Jeremiah, the same way he told Joshua, I need you to put your foot on their neck and put they behind the death. Get rid of some of these doggone, all these pagan gods and pagan systems and pagan stuff going running around. People carrying the Bible and they following pagan stuff and worshiping pagan gods. I need you to take them gods because the gods are fair game. The people aren't. You can't destroy the people, but you can destroy the gods. They gods are fair game, but these are still God's people and his creation. You have to take their gods and destroy them. I called you to root up, to pull down, and to destroy. Let's see here. And to throw down. But after that, I need you to build up. You see that? See, one thing about the Lord. Let me explain something to y'all about the Lord, how his character is. If you gonna call people out, if you gonna go against people, talk about them and everything else, you better have the capability to build them back up. See, that's the problem. You got a lot of people calling out stuff and going at people and telling people they need to change and all this kind of stuff. But are you equipping them? Are you reproofing them? Are you bringing them back? See, one thing about Christ, one thing about the apostles, they would tear down stuff, but then they'll build people back. They still showed the compassion. See, that's the compassion. See, all the confidence you got, Jeremiah, all the fearlessness and the words that I put in your mouth, I've called you to tear down and destroy. But I've also called you to build up. See, so many people are tearing down people, but yet they haven't learned to build up. The Lord don't tell you to build something or tear something down that he don't tell you to build up. He may tell you to tear down these systems that people are doing, that people are following. But the person, it's the spiritual things that need to be tore down that they're attached to. You have people that are on the low level, lower class people following systems. You have people on the upper class following systems. Both need that system tore down and dug up. But after you tear the systems down, the people have to be built back up. Let me show you how Christ functioned. Christ functioned in that capacity. The people, he used his connection. He connected to people. That's the first thing he did. Christ would see people coming from afar and immediately connect to them before he said a word to them. Then once he connected to them, the level of connection that he had to people helped him give an opportunity of compassion. The connection brought forth the compassion, which automatically caused them to correct, which brought correction. He didn't have to tell them about their sin. He didn't harbor all about the sin. But it was the compassion that liberated them. He had them to come and be attached. They wanted to change. They wanted to change. Now, this is the thing. There's a balance. We know that God have already, see, people use the term of, well, judge, you can't judge me. You can't judge, you can't do this. But they forget, they've not understood that we as believers are called to judge righteously. Righteous judge, not based on the outer appearance of looking at her, but judge righteous. What does that mean, evangelist? What does that mean? That means that God have already judged things in the earth. How does he judge it? When he look at something and says stealing, he's already judged stealing. So when I look at it, if somebody steals based on how God have already judged, I can say, brother, that is wrong. That's not judging you. God have already judged that. He's already said that's wrong. So as a man of God, I have to say, brother, that's wrong. Fornication, adultery, all these things God have already declared is wrong and unrighteous. Now, are all of us perfect? No, but we're striving towards the direction. The problem is you got people within the systems that aren't even striving towards it. They're not even going in the direction. They're going in the opposite way and telling God to follow them as they follow stuff, telling God to follow them as they follow lifestyles that's contrary to the scriptures. The Lord isn't following you. He's a leader, not a follower. He's a man of his own. He goes, he says, listen, I declare this is right, this is wrong. You follow what I've already laid forth. We judge righteously based on what he has already judged. But when you look at Christ said, listen, where are your accusers? I don't see them. He said, neither do I accuse you. Now go and sin no more. He dealt with the sin, but he dealt with it last. He connected to the person first. The compassion is what knew that he was a different man. Because remember, everybody else, all the Pharisees, hey, they were acting like rock stars. Their mindset was up. There was those people that had to be pulled down because their mentality was, look at me. I'm a Pharisee. I got all the knowledge and the wisdom and all this kind of stuff and the intellect, and people know who I am. I wear breastplates with rubies and all that. I wear certain mitris and all this kind of stuff. That system in which they were in, had to be pulled down. Christ functioned in the opposite. He's the Son of God, but he walked in the humility, more humble than anybody. He said, brothers, if I can't wash your feet, you have no part of me. Come on, man. This is the Son of God who came from on high, wrapped himself up in flesh, walked amongst us, felt all the things that we felt, went through the same temptations we did. And yet he said, if you don't allow me to wash your feet, that is called servant leadership. He was teaching them to be leaders, you got to serve first. Jeremiah, I've called you to tear down, but you have a responsibility to build up. If you're going to tear down, you need to be able to build up. You just can't tear people down and send them on their way without building them up. Let's look at this. Verse 11, moreover the word saying to me, he says, moreover the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Jeremiah, what seest thou? Now that the word is in his mouth, now that the confidence is there and the fearlessness is there. He's not fearless. He's walking in confidence. He knows his office. He knows his gifts. He knows who's given him the gift and who has given him the words. Now he's about to train his eyes. You see that? Look at the steps of the Lord. That's why I tell you, the Lord, throughout the Bible, his character is the same. He always trained people up the same way. Regardless of what your office and your assignment is, there still has to be a preparation of training. Jeremiah, now that you got the words, now that you have the confidence, and now that you're fearless, now I need to train your eyes. I'm training your voice. I'm training your ears, because he told him, he said, look, don't you say what I tell you not. Whatever I tell you to say, that's what you say. If I don't tell you to say it, don't say it. Now I need to train your eyes, because you're going around people you need to see spiritually. I need to make sure that you're hearing me correctly, that you have the confidence and don't have no fear. But I also need your eyes to be sharp in what you're seeing. Let's keep reading. Watch this. Moreover, the word Lord came unto me, saying, Jeremiah, what seest thou? And I said, I see a rod and an almond tree. He said, Jeremiah, what you see? He said, Lord, I see a rod and an almond tree. Then the Lord said unto me, thou hast seen well. Look, the Lord is training. The Lord is standing next to him, training him. He ain't sent him to the nations yet. Look, he said, I've called you to the nations and called you to go to kings. It's the same thing with David. David, you're going to be king. I've called you to be king, but not yet. Go back to tending to the sheep. Get your training with the sheep. Once you get your training on protecting the sheep, then that training behind the scenes, because tending the sheep is behind the scenes, all right? While you're being trained behind the scenes, I'm preparing you to be on the scene. But I can't put you on the scene without being trained behind the scene. See, a lot of people going too prematurely. They jumping out there so fast and haven't got the proper training behind the scenes, but they trying to be on the scene. You can't be on the scene if you ain't been trained behind the scene. How in the world can you go out there? That's what, even in actors, when actors act, they don't just start shooting a movie. No, they have a couple months reading the scriptures. Reading the script. They have a couple months reading the script. Then they have dialogue, scripting and practice and stuff. They being trained behind the scenes. Then once they got it down, they can understand their lines. Everything is flowing together. Now it's time to shoot the movie. Jeremiah, I've called you to be, but I need to prepare you to hear. I need to prepare you to have confidence. I need to prepare you to have a fearlessness. And I need to train your eyes to see. Because all of these functions you're going to need to the people that I'm calling you to. You're going to need all of this dealing with the people I'm sending you to. See, the Lord trained you and equipped you with the things based on the people he called you to. He know everybody he's assigned to your ear, your voice to their ears. He know them all. And so this person, when he called you to these street dudes and people like that, you gotta be fearless. You gotta have confidence. If he called you to people who are intellectuals, you gotta be able to study. You gotta have the proper time. You gotta put the time in. You got to be trained properly. Let's keep reading. Watch this. He said, then the Lord said unto me, thou hast seen well, for I will hasten my words to perform it. The Lord said, I'm going to be with you. I'm going to perform it. Verse 13. And the word of the Lord came unto me a second time, saying, what seest thou? And I said, I see a seething pot, and the face thereof is towards the north. Verse 14. Then the Lord said unto me, out of the north an evil shall break forth upon all the inhabitants of the land. For lo, I will call all the families of the kingdoms of the north, saith the Lord. The Lord said, look, man. He said, what you seen, all the families out, all these nations out the north is going to come. I'm going to send all the nations out of the north. But first, before I send them, as a witness, I need you to go and tell the people to get their act right. Now, I'm going to send you to some people who are going to be making faces, who are going to be hard-headed. I'm sending you to the kings who don't want to listen. Remember, he told Moses the same thing. Moses, go tell Pharaoh to let my people go. He ain't going to listen. He's not going to do it. Even though the Lord knows some people not going to change, he will send you the people because it's a testimony. Because these are the same people going to say, well, Lord, I didn't know. You didn't send nobody to me. No. Oh, hey, angel, I need you to come here. On such and such date, the angel going to whip out because he was a scribe following the person that the Lord has already assigned to witness to you, to introduce the truth to you. Then he turned around and he said, oh, no, it's right here on such and such date, at this such and such time, I sent my servant to you and you rejected. It's about a testimony against leaving no room for excuses. Leaving zero room for excuses. So Jeremiah, I need you to go tell the people. They're going to be hard-headed, but just go tell them. Because I'm going to send the nations out of the north. If they don't want to listen and they're going to be hard-headed, when these nations come, they will never be able to say. Because the Lord always sends a warning before he brings destruction. He always gives the people an opportunity to get themselves together before he sends the destruction. And all this stuff going on in America, all this stuff be going down. The Lord be done gave people warnings after warnings to get their act together. He'd be done declared and told them over and over to get their act together. You got to change. You better change. You better stop this. You better stop that. He always sent out his prophets as a mouthpiece to go out to tell the people to get their act together. And at some point in time, the Lord tell that angel to go down and do what I tell you to do. And all of a sudden, when destruction comes, you're always going to have false prophets saying, oh, the Lord wouldn't do that. The Lord is a God of love. The Lord won't do that. That's the Old Testament. That don't matter no more. He don't function like that. They just ain't like when grace came, God just totally just changed. Like his personality changed. He won't do nothing. He ain't going to do nothing he going to do. Okay? When obviously you ain't read the Old Testament because there's prophecies of destruction in the Old Testament that ain't came to pass yet. And it's not coming to pass until Christ comes. Okay? So I don't know where people get this craziness from. Oh, you know, God, you know, he's not that God. He's a God of love. He was a God of love in the Old Testament too. The people hated him. The same way the people hate him in the New Testament. They hate his ways. The same way they hate his ways in the Old Testament, they hate his ways under the New Covenant too. They still want to do whatever they want to do. And the Most High done showed you in the New Testament, he will put you behind the death. I'm telling you, he get tired too. Y'all think he don't get tired? Yes, grace. We are under grace. But the Lord get tired of foolishness. And he have to make an example out of folks. Just so the nation, so everybody, so he can get somebody's attention. Somebody got to be made an example of in the earth so he can get folks' attention. Because sometimes these folks get out of control. They'll push him to the limit. That's why Paul say, shall we just continue in sin because grace abound? God forbid. He said, listen, God will kill your behind. You abuse his grace. All right, let's finish up here. All right, let's see here. Verse number 15. And they shall come and they shall set everyone his throne at the entering of the gates of Jerusalem, and against all the walls thereof round about, and against all the cities of Judah. So he said, look, man, he said, verse number 16, and I will utter my judgments against them, touching all their wickedness, who have forsaken me, and I have burned incense unto other gods, and have burned incense unto other gods. They still doing this now, still burning incense to other gods. All right, they still doing this mess. They still doing this same mess with these other gods. Same thing. And worship the works of their own hands. People running around here talking about, man, I the one got this. I the one made myself great. I the one got myself this wealth. And he told him, don't do that. And he told him in Deuteronomy, don't be running around here talking about you got that your own hands are giving you this wealth. Every time the Lord they keep warning, people just don't want to listen. And they still doing it today. I'm responsible for my success. There's no such thing as a God. Ain't no such. I'm responsible. The power is in my hands. Yeah, okay. All right. Verse 17. Thou therefore gird up thy loins and arise and speak unto them all that I command thee. Be not dismayed at their faces, lest I confound thee before them. The Lord said, if you are afraid of what they looking like in the face that they making, to when it's going to cause you to stop to keep your mouth closed, or it's going to cause you not to say what I tell you, I'm gonna embarrass you in front of those doggone sinners. In front of all the people that following pagan gods, I'm going to embarrass you in front of them. Let's keep reading it. Watch this. He says, I confound thee before them. For behold, I have made thee this day a defense city. The Lord said, I made you, I'm going to protect you. They ain't going to be able to do nothing against you because I got my ark around you. I got the safety around you. I got the hedge around you. And an iron pillar and brazen wall against the whole land, against the kings of Judah and the princes thereof, against the priests thereof, and against the people of the land. Man, the Most High God said, man, I made you listen, everybody gonna be against you with the stuff that you're gonna be saying. The king gonna be against you. Look at it. He says the kings of Judah gonna be against you. The princes, those who under the kings, gonna be against you. He even said the priests, the church leaders gonna be against you. The camp leaders gonna be against you. And the people, all the common folk who follow the king, the priest, and everybody else, they gonna be against you. Everybody gonna be, the stuff you gonna be saying gonna be tearing down their system. And all of them gonna be mad. They gonna be mad. They gonna be against you, every last one of them. That's what you're trying to tell y'all, man. The truth is unpopular. And I'm gonna put the truth in your mouth, and you're gonna go out declaring and speaking this truth out of your mouth, and everybody gonna be against. If you got a crowd of people following you, you better, I'm telling you, all these folks, when I look in the scriptures, when the folks who were speaking truth, they were cutting people, man. They was cutting people. Didn't nobody want to be around them folks. You had a small group of people that ran with the folks who were teaching truth. They didn't want to deal with that. They was teaching truth. When they was teaching and saying stuff, what thus saith the Lord, man, they were cutting people left and right. Cutting them up, boy. Left and right. Jeremiah started dealing with them. Hey, man, all these pagan stuff y'all worshiping and setting up and all this paganism, man, that stuff there, man, y'all ought to be ashamed. Y'all better get rid of that stuff. And even today, when you start telling people to get rid of all that pagan stuff, guess what they do? They get mad at you. They cuss you out. Some of them will cuss you out. Some of them will treat you, say all kind of things. They did it to Jeremiah too. They did it to all the prophets. That's why in the New Testament, Stephen say, which one of the prophets of the Lord have you not killed? Which one of the prophets of the Lord have you not thrown in jail? Which one of the prophets of the Lord have you not did some form of harm to? Stephen told, they got so mad at Stephen. They got so mad at Stephen. Stephen turned around, they stoned him. They pulled him out the court. They didn't even give him a sentence. They didn't give him no sentence. They didn't give him no jail time. No, man, he was cutting their spirit. Get him out of here. Go kill him right now. They took him out there and they killed him in front of everybody. They didn't even have time to give him a trial because the spirit was speaking so bold to him. Which one of the prophets of the Most High did you not kill or persecute? Well, they couldn't stand that thing, boy. They drug his behind outside and stoned his behind live in front of everybody. In front of everybody. Telling y'all, man. Let's finish reading. We almost done here. Last verse. And they shall fight against thee. Look at you hear what the Lord say? The Lord say, the kings, the princes, the priests, and the people of the land. He said, and they shall fight against thee, but they shall not prevail. When you got the Most High God on your side, when you have Christ the Messiah on your side, I don't care what people say against you. I don't care how people come up against you. They will not prevail. Even in your death, somebody's still going to get delivered and changed. Even in your death, if you have to die speaking the truth, somebody is going to be liberated. All right, y'all have to stand, for the kingdom of God is without the fearful. You can't be afraid to speak this truth, because you are a city that is fortified. You are a city with iron pillars. You are a city with the hedges around you, and God is your protector. He is the one who's standing at all the gates around the city, protecting the enemy from getting in. You have to stand and speak this truth, regardless of how anybody else feels. You can't get involved and caught up in friendships, in family relationships, and all these other kind of stuff. You have to speak what the Lord say speak. And then if they accept and receive, then you reproof them. You build them up. All right, you can't just go around here speaking this stuff. Let's see, watch this. Verse number 19. And they shall fight against thee, but they shall not prevail against thee. For I am with thee, saith the Lord. I am with thee, and I will deliver thee. One thing you can count on. You can count on it, and you can bank on it. Y'all want to play the lottery? You want to go to Vegas to gamble? Then put your money on God. Stop putting your money on these systems, and stop putting your money on all this other stuff that these people are talking about. Put your money on God, because he will not leave you. He will not forsake you, and he will deliver you. He will protect you. The problem is people got more confidence in the system. They have more confidence in man. They have more confidence in government. They have more confidence in everything on the earth, but they do not have the confidence, and they lack the confidence in the creator of heaven and earth, the God who has kept you and sustained you when you were out of job, the God who kept the lights on when you didn't have no doggone money, the God who made sure food was on your table when you didn't know where the next meal was coming from, the God who made sure when you were in a car accident that you did not perish, the God when everybody was shooting in the neighborhood and the bullet came through the window and it didn't hit you or your children, the God who protected you, the God who allowed you to walk out of that prison when you were facing 100 years to life, but yet the Lord made sure that you walked out innocent. The God who has always protected us from the beginning out of our conception, from the time that we came out of the womb, all the way till we're adults now. That same God who you didn't even know how you was going to get the job because you didn't qualify on the resume. He opened the door and allowed you to get that job. The same God where you didn't know how you was going to be able to pay for this car because that car, you didn't fit it because your credit was jacked up. The same God who allowed you to get the car of your dreams because you didn't have the good enough credit to get it. But somehow you came in on the very particular month where they came out with some new plan for somebody who don't have good credit, but allowed you to get into the plan in that very month. The same God when you were supposed to pay $600 a month for a car note, he blessed you so when you didn't have to pay but $300 a month for the car note. And everybody wondering how in the world you got this particular car when the person who qualified and got the doggone enough money and the good credit couldn't afford or get the car. I'm not talking prosperity gospel. I'm talking about the God of our fathers, the one who shines upon his children who are obedient. Yes, we can have the earth and this world and the things in it were created and supposed to be for us. But since we want to follow other systems, and other men and other gods, the Most High stepped back and let us have it our way. And when he let you have it your way, that is the worst thing that you can do, because now you got to depend on the very people that you want him to allow you to have it your way. Brothers and sisters, I thank all of you for joining. I thank all of you for watching another awesome lesson. This was supposed to be about the 4 kingdoms. But when the Lord shifts and wherever he moves, I am always at service to shift in whichever way he wants to go. All right. Maybe we'll come back tomorrow and we'll deal with these 4 kingdoms. All right. As we did last night. But today, trust the Lord. Trust the Lord. Today, this was about who you were called to be. The Lord has called you to be a great people. He's called you to be a people that you are peculiar people. You're not like anybody else. Stop functioning and living and trying to be like everybody else. But live and walk in who he has called you to be. Remember, correct and reprove. Remember, correct, but don't forget to connect, and don't forget to display compassion. Until next time, brothers and sisters, I thank all of you. We'll be in Dothan, Alabama for the Truth Tour this coming Friday. I'll be rapping the gospel. But on Saturday, we'll be at the Comfort Inn in Dothan, Alabama at 12 p.m. If you have any family members, friends, any of them, if you can't make it, but you know family and friends that's in Dothan, the Troy area, and all these other areas that are right there, send them the flyer. Inbox them. I'll be in Vegas in August. I'll be coming with the flyer and the date. I'll also be in Selma and near Montgomery, and I'll be also in Indianapolis. This Truth Tour is going out. We got all kind of dates set up. I just don't have them all in front of me now. But as the months come, I'll be having them. Yes, Texas. We're working on Texas right now. I'm waiting on my brother Jakari to set it up for Texas. And we'll be in Texas. But we have a lot of different locations that are being set up as we speak. We got in Atlanta, in May here in Atlanta. All these different, man, the Lord is really shining favor and opening up doors for the Truth Tour. And we're going to be talking about a lot of different things. So if you're in Dothan, I'll look forward to seeing you on Saturday. If you can make it, it is going to be worth the ride. It's going to be worth it. Sister Charmaine, we got to get Charlotte. We got to get Charlotte together. Also, we'll be in Richmond, Virginia next month as well. We'll be teaching on the destruction of polygamy, getting that stuff out of here. All right? We're going to get rid of that out of here. Hey, thanks, Sister Ernestine and Sister Patricia for setting up Selma, Alabama. I appreciate that. I'll do the new flyer. I just need the address to where, well, I think I do got the address and information of where it's going to be. So definitely I'll be there. All of you, man, it's just been great. It's been a blessing. The Lord is really doing this thing. He's moving. But again, Selma, Alabama. Selma, Alabama. All right. I'm sorry, not Selma. Dothan, Alabama. Dothan, Alabama. This coming Saturday at 12 p.m. All right. In Dothan. All right. We're going to be at the Comfort Inn Suite Conference Room. This is going to be awesome. It's going to be phenomenal. And it is free. I thank all of you for your contributions to it. That way we can have free venues and free facilities for brothers and sisters to be able to come and be able to receive the word and be able to receive it for free. Hey, Sister Christina, I would definitely love to come to Orlando. I don't have a connection down there or a contact. If you know anybody that's there, that's a connection or contact, be willing to open up the doors, we will set it up, put it on the calendar, and we will be in Orlando. Definitely. Sister Janessa, definitely, I'm waiting on you guys. You guys hit me up. You know, I've definitely come back again to helping hands. I would definitely feel, be willing to come back and whatnot. Just y'all let me know. I'm just super excited about Dothan this weekend, man. It's going to be phenomenal. We're going to be dealing with the spirit and frequency. We're going to be doing all these different things, man. We're going to be dealing with a lot of stuff, Bible prophecy, things like that. But super excited. This coming Saturday in Dothan, Alabama, it kicks off the tour. I am excited. And I'm excited to see many of you as we come to your city. I can't wait. Definitely can't wait to get to Vegas again. But definitely, I'm excited. Share the video, share this lesson. Send it to your friends, send it to your family members, send it to people in leadership, all these different things and whatnot. Let's see, I'm going to make sure I'm not working when you come. If you miss, you're going miss life. Okay, Sister Denise, I think you're in Vegas. I think you said you're in Vegas. But definitely share the video, share this with all your friends, share everybody. I mean, friends, families, pastors, teachers, ministers, whoever. Share the lesson, share these videos, and we look forward to it. I can't wait. Again, I'm excited about the Truth Tour. And yes, I'll be changing the title. Again, I'll be changing the title. And whenever the Lord shifts, I always end up going back in and changing the title to the lesson. But I'll definitely change it after I get off this lesson, so that way it will line up with what it is, what the title is. And it's going to be awesome once again. And I think that's it. But again, man, I'd like to thank all of you for just being, such a great people of God. Just recognizing what the Lord is calling all of us to do. And again, this is something that we're all participating in. If I'm in a city near you, even if it's 2 hours and you can get there, I definitely will appreciate it. I would love to see all of you. Everybody who comes on here every day, man, I would definitely want to be able to see and meet every last person who's on here who sold their time and whatnot. And so I definitely like to thank, those who sold monetarily, and I like to thank those who sold their time with sharing the video, as well as just getting on here and listening, watching. Your time is very valuable, and I don't take your time for granted. I don't take anything for granted. I really appreciate all of you from the bottom of my heart, man. I love all of you with the love of Christ. And as we keep going, as we keep spreading this gospel and this truth, Christ said that this gospel must go throughout the world, and then the end will come. This gospel, and then the end will come. Okay, so let us continue to flow, let us continue to grow, and let us continue to learn. I pray that you cannot eat without eating from the word of God, for man should not live by bread alone, but every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of God. I pray that you cannot drink without drinking from the living waters that flows from Christ. Let the light that is within you shine bright outside of you. And don't forget to love one another so that the world may know that we, as the body of Christ, serve the true and living God. Until next time, brothers and sisters, I'll see all of you next time on tomorrow, and we end up going from there. See all of you in Dothan, Alabama this weekend, and I'll be coming back to Jacksonville as well. And so it's just phenomenal and great, and you all have a great and wonderful day. All right, grace to you. Shalom.